you're wrecking my shot.
Still one outside tip. I'll hit it on the way out.
Hey, so I wanted to give a little bit of an update on this channel. We're still kind of far off from launching, but I talked about it in the vlog and people keep finding this channel, so we wanted to put something here updating you with where we are at Beam News. So as I said in the vlog a number of times, the kind of subject matter we're tackling here is all over the place, and the way we're going to present it is going to be diverse, but our primary goal here is to make really interesting YouTube videos about what's happening in the world. And I wanted to share with you a little bit of some of the kinds of stories we've been looking at. So kind of where we are in the process right now is like we want to get to a daily show. And right now we are producing videos. We're making them as fast and as many of them as we can. Some aren't good, some are better, none of them we're publishing, but we are doing stuff. So to share with you a little bit, like back in May, there was this scene outside of the Turkish ambassador residence in DC where there was these like Turkish security officers beating the ever-living shit out of demonstrators. And I remember seeing that on Twitter and being like, oh my God, this is terrible. And then I realized it was in the United States of America that was taking place in DC. And I came into the office here and we were all talking about, we're like, let's focus on that. So we dove into it. In particular, if you look at this footage, that older guy there that was kicked in the face, who was an American citizen, we're like, let's find out who that is. Let's try to speak to that man and get his perspective. Hello, sir. My name's Casey.
Hi, Casey.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Here's a short cut down of what that looked like. Turkey doesn't exactly have a stellar human rights record. Stuff like this, it happens all the time in Turkey.
Let me tell you this. As a Kurd from Turkey, this is nothing.
Tell me what happened.
This is America. This is one of the most democratic country in the world. And in the nation capital, they are trying to kill us. They are hitting us.
All right, so why we didn't publish that? When we finished that, it was good, but it felt like kind of weirdly newsy, and all the stuff where I'm interviewing Saeed was really just he and I speaking, but the rest of the news around it was me reading from a teleprompter, and it didn't feel right. So we learned a lot, but we never published it. Another story is when the terrorist attack on May 22nd took place in Manchester. That was all over the news, and the story was always the same. It was kind of like, what are we gonna do now to combat terrorism? And as we talked about in here, we're like, well, a question we'd like answered is, how does a normal person go from being a normal person to becoming a terrorist? That was a question we wanted to answer. So for that story, we sent Neha, who's one of our reporters, we sent her down to DC, where she went to George Washington University, and she spoke with some experts there on extremism.
This is actually a map of individuals that we have identified as using social media to reach out to Westerners and encourage them to carry out attacks.
We actually interviewed like a white supremacist or a former white supremacist who went from being a normal person to being an extremist who went back to being a person who is not an extremist. And we learned a lot from that.
I was taught that other people who were not white were parasites. These recruiters are looking for vulnerable young people. They're very good at this, for looking at people who are marginalized.
They look for a person with a big fat void in his life or her life, and then they step in and they fill that void with really bad intentions. Now, again, the reason why we didn't do that is it felt too documentary, like documentary-y. The vibe of it didn't feel enough like a YouTube video. It didn't feel right, so we pulled that back too. And then another story is the story that I shared with you in the vlog, which is this story about click farms. That's a story that Jake hosted because I was out of town or something, and he's also a better host than me. And that's a story that we found to be really, really compelling. And when we finished that story, that's the one we were like, this is the vibe. This feels right. And that's why I shared a little bit of that in the vlog, and that's why I want to share with you now an extended version of that. One caveat before I play this back for you. At the end of this, you'll hear Jake talk about something called Panels. Now, Panels is an app we built here at Beam, and it's a way for us to get people's opinions that aren't like old men in suits that we pay to give us their opinions, but it's you. It's normal people from around the world that are able to download our app and within the app sort of see what we're talking about and chime in. And then we take their clips and we include them in our news broadcast, in our show. That app's not public yet, but it'll be out soon. Okay, so here's like the extended version of the Click Farms piece. You've probably seen this before in the vlog.
Something that I found to be particularly interesting happened on Monday, and that is that police in Thailand raided a click farm. And we've heard about click farms before, especially on platforms like YouTube, but in case you haven't, They are places that sell social media likes, follows, and views to companies or individuals who want to boost their online popularity. That click farm in Thailand, like other click farms in India, Bangladesh, and elsewhere, have these janky-looking racks filled with hundreds of cell phones. Workers then rotate hundreds of thousands of SIM cards through these phones to make it look like different users were liking or viewing or friending or whatever it is that people do. Now, let's be clear. To me, this is a form of cheating. And a lot of platforms and online stores prohibit stuff like this in their terms of service, and they might even kick you off their site or delete your fake followers and views and likes and reviews if you do business with a click farm or other fake users. But it's also legal. The 3 guys who were arrested in that Thailand raid weren't arrested for running a click farm. According to the AP, they were actually arrested on charges that included not paying taxes on those hundreds of cell phones. And we wanted to figure out just how easy this is. Spoiler alert, it's actually pretty easy. For example, there are vending machines in Russia where you can buy Instagram likes as if they were Skittles. So all of this gave us an idea to try 2 things. 1, let's actually buy some fake Instagram followers, and 2, what if we did it for one of the people working upstairs at the Beam office, and then we just didn't tell them about it? Hey Jack, so who should we buy some Instagram followers for?
Steve.
All right. So it was pretty easy. We found this website, and we have a few options for how many followers we should get. What do you think we should go with? 100?
5,000.
I like that it's quality followers.
Yeah, the best.
Only the best
Only
followers.
the best for Steve.
All right, we can do $39.99 because we have CNN money. Oh, there he is.
Wow. Yep, that's his profile.
So we have a plan. While I do this, you go upstairs and see if we can capture the moment when it happens.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right, I'm gonna walk up and try and not have Steve see me doing this, but it's gonna be kind of obvious, I think.
What's up, man?
Yeah.
What are you recording for? Do I need to strike a pose?
Okay, so we're paying now. Let's see what happens. Okay, we did it. We paid $39.99.
How's everything going?
Do you want the real answer or the camera answer?
Like you're whispering to the camera.
Well, I'm very aware that I'm on tape now.
Instagram likes happens in 5 minutes. So we're gonna do that as well, just in case.
Well, just ticked up to 265. Dude, I got 2 likes and a comment.
So now let's just refresh his thing and see when it takes place. If this works, I'm gonna freak out. Yes, it's happening. He's at 53 likes right now, 77 likes, 86. You know, it's at 9:05, 9:51. I feel really bad for him and his notifications.
Dude, you're kind of blowing up right now on IG.
What did you do? Why do I have 2,000 likes on my photo?
Wait, what?
No, that's somewhere in the realm of 200 times more people liking my photos than regular.
So now we're gonna talk a little bit philosophically. This isn't the news anymore, but what I find, especially from living in social media, I mean, my career was made off of social media, is that it's an extension of ourselves to a degree. It's allowing us to share these moments of our lives with others, and we want people to appreciate them. Is that in the form of a like or a view? Probably, yes. And so there is some meaningfulness to that. But is it the end-all, be-all? That I don't know, which is why we went to panels and asked this question. How does someone's follower count affect their popularity in real life?
The amount of followers you have on your social media is an indicator of perhaps the value of your brand, but once people get inside and they see that you have nothing to offer, then it's like a store with no stock.
Follower counts have mostly to do with superficiality.
Finding out someone is really popular on social media does change my perspective a little bit, but if I found out they had a lot of bots following them, that would change it more.
All right, that is the news. I'm Jake, this was Beam News, and remember to smash that like button because it's the only thing that makes me feel valuable or important in this life. And hey, guess what? Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat. I would say Beam, but that app's dead. All right, see you later.
He's at 3,000 likes now.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Did you buy me followers too?
I didn't buy man.
I really can't deal with having to clean that up.
That's probably the best one we've made so far. Literally right now, we have a field reporting team that's in, are they still in Amsterdam?
I think they just came. They're on their way back.
To Denver?
Yeah, they're in Denver now.
Okay, so we have a field reporting team right now that's like running around the world doing a really interesting story about drugs, not like a Vice thing. Vice does great stories about drugs. And maybe we'll publish that. Maybe that'll be like the first real video we put on this channel. Not sure. In the meantime though, we're just gonna keep plugging away. Stay tuned here and on my channel. I'll keep you abreast of updates. I'll also let you know when we launch panels publicly so you can download it and start to contribute to our news show. Okay, that's it for the update. I hope this is helpful. I'd say subscribe, but like channel's not quite there yet, so I'm not gonna give you the hard sell on subscribing until we have like content that you can judge us by. That's it for Beam News. This is our old logo.